Thank you for being you and everything that you do.
Yeah.
There are a few topics that you touched on with a few other people that have come to the stage. One of them being that we could all focus on world peace. How could, I'm not sure how to word this.
Well, we can just give you the answer whether you word it or not. By calibrating to your vortex, calibrating to your inner being, who is unresisted, pure love. That's all you can do. And it's enough. Because when you do that, then the conflicts that have been plaguing you fade into the background, so then you're less reactive. In other words, what causes war is reaction. No one's going around saying, in our vocabulary, I think I would like to put into my vortex war, where a lot of people suffer and starve and hurt each other. Yes, that's the ticket. That's what I want. There's hardly anybody doing that. But what is causing the reaction is your reaction, reacting to things. You want to be a creator, not a reactor. You want to be an actor, not a reactor. You want to be a creator, not a regurgitator. But in order to do that, in order to even want to do that, you've got to understand that there is no assertion. And that's hard to hear when you look around and you see people being mean to people. And it just looks like, hey, there is assertion because those people don't want that. We didn't say they wanted it, but we will say they expected it.
So when you are the one believing, when I'm the one believing that there is a solution and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and being able to see everything that the collective on the other side can see, how do I help others?
Well, here's the thing. This is an important thing to understand in this. Your work is to find the feeling place of your alignment. And then you'll be inspired to the next and the next and the next and the next and the next. One of the big wanted aspects of physical life is the diversity of ideas, beliefs, intentions. And so often when someone wants peace and wants everyone else to want it, your inner being will not go along with that, because your inner being knows everybody does not want the same thing at the same time. And your power is to want it and find it all around you. But you don't get to assert your desire for peace on others. Now that's kind of hard to hear, isn't it? Because you think, well, but peace is a good thing, so they should welcome me asserting it on them. Well, what about the ones that say, well, monogamy is a good thing too, or abortion is a bad thing? When you start saying that everybody has to agree, that's when you step on the creative toes of others. You just have to live through the clarity of your example and find your peace in the world with your constant trending toward that which is love. We promise you, you trend there, something other than that won't find you.
That's what I've been flowing in for the last few years. It keeps...
And then teachers like you feel guilty. Oh, I feel guilty because I'm living this beautiful life and there are people out there living wretched lives. So we say, okay, go ahead, live a wretched life if you feel guilty. But you can't get sick enough to help sick people get well, or poor enough to help poor people be prosperous, or confused enough to help confused people become clear-minded. In other words, you just have to find your alignment and then follow the inspiration that comes from that alignment. And we promise you, everything that you've lived that has caused you to want anything, and world peace is one of them. Your inner being has it, holds it, focuses on it, and is calling you toward it. But if you get bent out of shape because there are people that don't seem like that's what they want, then you're not in the vibration of that, and then you're not witnessing that, and then you're not an example of that. A wonderful thing is happening in this diverse world with so much contrast. Did you get an emotional scale card when you walked in the door?
Yes.
Take a look at it if you can find it. And somewhere up around 7 or 8, there's a light blue little phrase that is written. There it is on the screen too. and the little phrase says tipping point. And your world is at a tipping point. And you know why? Someone read to us, what is number 8? Call it out. Boredom? Ah, what a great thing. Just really bored of all of it. Aren't you tired of it? Aren't you tired of hearing about it? Aren't you tired of wondering if it's true, or wondering if it's not true, or wondering? Aren't you kind of bored with that? And then what's just above that? So right there between boredom and contentment is a tipping point that your planet is in the process of making, where more people, just for their sheer sake of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, are tipping toward a feeling of, I just don't want to think about that. I just don't want to think about that. Have your thoughts been helping? Have your thoughts been helping? Have anybody's thoughts been helping about any of it? Or are you just getting more mad at each other? Of course, we're throwing you all in one basket, and we're talking about the dominance that is going on here. This is tipping point. This is the time when, even though you can't see the evidence of it yet in the vortex, a big paradigm shift has happened. And what that means is you can expect to see evidence of Esther's on the airplane, and she's watching the people, and she knows that they are coming from everywhere, from all spectrums of religion and politics and backgrounds, and they are nice to each other. And she's thinking, that's good enough for me. They're nice to each other. That's good enough for me. I'm connecting those dots. I want that. I find the feeling place of that. And everywhere I go, I see that.
So knowing that everyone in this room comes from those different backgrounds and those different places.
There's rascals all over in this room. Everyone in this room or in any room.
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And knowing that in the morning is our best place to get on the highest flying disc and get in the vortex. And if we all put that thought of world peace, and then
don't assign it to them. Don't assign it to anyone else, because that's where it gets wonky. That's like carrying your list around. I need you to want world peace in order for me to be happy. And then they want to explain to you why that's not possible for them right now. They get your notion, but you just have to find it for yourself. You're the creator of your experience. And the law of attraction will back you up with precision about what it is you're offering. And here's the big piece for you. This is what you're reaching for. When you are in alignment, when you've calibrated to your own inner being, and you're there steadily enough, consistently enough that you are relaxed in life again and at ease and finding so much more joyous around you than things to worry about. You're steady there. You've calibrated there. Then, in your consistent alignment with your inner being who is always right there, you engage for your personal focus the energy that creates world. And your power of influence is unspeakable. But you got to go about it that way, not the other way. Did you hear the difference? Hook up to it and then, hook up to it and then. And why should you hook up to it? To accomplish world peace? No, that's not your business. Why should you hook up to it? Because you're supposed to feel good. You're supposed to feel love. Because you are a lover, and when you're not loving, you're not who you are. Yeah?
Yes.
Really good time for a segment of refreshment.